والأمراض ليخفف عنهم الذنوب والأوزار فيكون حسابه لهم به خفيفا يوم المعاد. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يقول الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد نعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس، الصحة والفراغ. رواه البخاري. صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم، ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. All praise, thanks, gratitude, glory belongs only to Allah Azza wa Jal. He is the Almighty, He is alone, He is independent, He has no partner, He has no children, He is self-sufficient, and He is the sustainer of the entire universe. We bear witness and testify that Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, is the last and final messenger. May peace, blessings, and salutations be upon him, his companions, his family, and all those who follow his footsteps, including us, until the day of judgment. My dear respected elders and brothers, mothers, and sisters, amongst the many, many blessings Allah Azza wa Jal has bestowed upon us, one of the blessings is the physical health that we have, the good health that we have. That is one of the greatest blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal. There's so many different blessings. Allah says, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. If you were to enumerate the blessings of Allah, you wouldn't be able to. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, two blessings most people are oblivious about, negligent about, are occurring a lot of loss. Those two ni'mah are as-sihha. One of the things is sihha, to have good health. We don't value and realize the value of our health until we visit the ICU or the hospitals and the special facilities. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect all of us from being admitted into those facilities. But if we ever visit, we see that patients are clinging on to their lives. They're willing to pay anything, arms, legs, they're willing to give all the property they have, just so they can be released from the hospital and come back and live happily and healthy. So health is a great ni'mah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. We all give it a lot of importance. As soon as we get sick, we get worried. Especially now the winter, the cold months are coming. We are afraid we might get sick. We can look at it in a positive way. The Prophet ﷺ said, the cold treasures, al-ghanima al-barida, is in the cold days, the winter days. Because the nights are very long. You can worship Allah Azza. You can wake up early and still catch the tahajjud. And the days are short. You can fast in those days. So anyhow, usually people get sick in the winter months, whatever it might be. People give a lot of importance to their physical health. If they have to travel countries, they will travel countries to cure and find treatment. If you don't find treatment in America, people go outside, other places to find treatment. I've heard this incident from many scholars who said that there's a man in Egypt. He was affluent, he was wealthy. He was one time diagnosed with some serious heart conditions. So he couldn't find any treatment in his own home country because it was a developing country. So he went to one of the European countries to seek treatment. When he got there, the doctor scanned and told him that all of your arteries are almost blocked, completely blocked. You must immediately go through a procedure. So he was worried that, he's never done this in his life. This is a big procedure, and we know if you have a family member who gone through something like that, it's a very terrifying moment. You don't know what will happen after the procedure. So he said, let me go back to my country, settle my affairs. If I have to write a wasiyah, I will. My wealth, I want to distribute it properly, and then I'll come back, and then I'll do the treatment. So he went back to Egypt, and he distributed his property to his kids, wrote the wasiyah. While in his short stay, while he was there in Egypt, he was passing by a meat store, a butcher shop, where they cut meat, and sometimes meat fall off, where they cut small pieces fall off here and there. He was passing by there, and he saw an elderly lady who was alone, who seemed like she is very poor, with her kids. She was waiting for the piece of meat to fall. Every time it falls, she goes, picks it up and saves it. Every time something falls, she picks it up and saves it. This man, he passed by, he saw this, he couldn't hold back his emotions and his tears. He took the woman to the butcher and he said that I will pay for the entire year, every week, I want you to supply and provide this woman with meat and the flesh and whatever you have in the store. For a whole year he paid. He went back to the European country for his treatment. The doctors scanned him again. The doctors were shocked. What happened? What did you do? Did you go through some special treatment? Did you already have the procedure? He said, no, I didn't do anything. He said, all your arteries are clean. They're open, as if you never had any problem. So he thought back that perhaps it might have been because of that dua that lady made, that he purchased meat for her for a whole year. SubhanAllah. All right? So first of all, we see one thing from here. The benefits of sadaqah and giving in the path of Allah. And I mean, tomorrow we have the fundraiser coming for our community. We all have to support and be behind this cause. So inshallah, try to be there tomorrow. The second thing is that when we are sick, we will go through everything. Whether we have to travel countries after countries, we will go through it and we will find a cure for our physical body. Right? And there's nothing wrong to go after treatment and find solutions. There's nothing wrong with that. One Sahabi says that I came to the Prophet ﷺ, his name is Usama ibn Sharik. I came to the Prophet ﷺ one day and I saw the Sahaba sitting down in front of the Prophet ﷺ as if there was birds sitting on their heads, very quietly, not moving around, listening attentively. So he said, I gave salam and I sat down. After I sat down, some people came from the desert and they came and started asking the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, hal natadawa? Can we seek treatment? Can we take medications? Can we go and see a doctor? The Prophet ﷺ says, Tadawu, no problem in that. Go seek medication. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَضَعْ دَاءً إِلَّا وَضَعَ لَهُ دَوَاءً. Because not a single sickness Allah has placed except that He has also created a cure for it. Right? So there's nothing wrong with seeking treatment. The Prophet ﷺ, he himself was sick many times. Ayub alayhi salam, he was sick for 18 years. For 18 years he was sick. Only a few men that stayed with him from his friends and his wife stayed. After that, Allah Azza, he made dua, Rabbi inni massani ad-dur wa anta arhamur rahimin. Ya Allah, this musibah, this problem has afflicted me. You are the arhamur rahimin. Please give me shifa. And Allah Azza wa Jalla says, we gave him more than what he lost, and he gave his family his wealth back. One time the Prophet ﷺ, he was sick. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, innaka tu'aku wa'kan shadida. You're going through a lot of physical pain. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ajal, yes, of course, I'm going through a lot of pain. وَإِنِّي أُوعَكُ مِثْلَ مَا يُوعَكُ الرَّجُلَانِ مِنْكُمْ. I go through double the pain everyone else goes through. Two men, the pain they go through, I go through that pain. And we know أَشَدُّ النَّاسِ بَلَاءً, the people that go through the most trials and difficulties and tribulations are the Anbiya. So even the Prophet ﷺ was sick, and he said, مَا مِن مُسْلِمٍ, that not a single Muslim, when any sort of affliction, any sort of problem or sickness befalls on him, except that Allah uses that to forgive his sins. Right? Even when people get sick, Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us in so many different ways to go visit them, because there's reward in that. Allah Azza wa Jalla in the Hadith al-Qudsi, He says that I was sick, Ya Bani Adam, that oh Bani Adam, I was sick but you didn't visit me. You will say, Ya Allah, how are you sick? Wa anta Rabbul Alameen, you are the Rabbul Alameen, how do you get sick? He said that, Ala ta'lam, don't you know that I had a slave, I had a servant, he was sick? And don't you know that if you visited him, you would have found me there? Right? So our religion, our faith gives a lot of importance to our physical health. Right? And the pharmaceutical industry that we have in this country is right now worth over $900 billion. Why? Because we're all worried about our health. As soon as something happens, doctor, right after that, the pharmacy. That is why one of the highest paid profession in the world is surgeons and physicians, because of the demand. We all want to get ourselves fixed. My brothers, I am not a professionally trained physician or anything like that, but today I'm here to talk to you about something bigger, a bigger treatment, a bigger healthcare. That is not the physical well-being, but the spiritual well-being. The spiritual well-being of our heart, which is far more greater than our physical well-being. Because let's say we are sick for our entire life. We were sick, we suffered, and we passed away in that state. Our akhirah won't be in jeopardy as long as we have iman. On the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jalla will raise a person who went through a lot of suffering in this world. Allah Azza wa Jalla will dip him in Jannah for just a second and bring him back up. And that person will say, Ya Allah, I never suffered any sort of hardships. As if it's nothing, 1 second of Jannah. On the other hand, the person, he lived this life with luxury and affluence and wealth, but he will be dipped in Jahannam for a second and be brought back out. Allah will ask him, have you felt any luxury and happiness in this world? He will say, no, Ya Allah, I haven't felt anything. So the state of our heart, the state of our iman, that is far more greater, far more significant than our physical health. The Prophet ﷺ says, أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلُحَتْ صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. Beware that there's a limb, there's a flesh, there's an organ in your body. If that is pure, if that is wholesome, صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. Your whole body will be good. Your whole body will be harmony. And if that piece of flesh is fasadat, it's fasid, it's corrupted, your whole body will be feeling pain and will be going through problems. أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. And that is the heart. The well-being of your heart. Right? It's not just the blocked arteries, but it's beyond that. The diseases of the heart. So what are the diseases of the heart? There are many, many diseases of the heart. If you remember previously, we talked about one of the diseases of the heart, which was anger, and controlling and managing our anger. Today we'll try to touch on another topic, another disease of the heart. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions 3 diseases of the heart in one verse of the Quran. He says, مُسْتَكْبِرِينَ بِهِ سَامِرًا تَهْجُرُونَ. 3 diseases of the heart. The first one, mustakbirin, to have kibr, to have pride, to think that you're better than people. That is the number 1 disease of the heart. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Those who have kibr, they will enter Jahannam dakhirin, forever they will dwell in it. Why? Only because they had kibr. The first disobedience that took place ever from the creation was kibr. Allah Azza wa Jalla created Adam and Hawa, Adam alayhi salam, and told Iblis to prostrate. He had kibr, he had pride. He said, no, ana khayrun min, I am better than him. How can I prostrate in front of him? That is the first sin that took place, kibr and ujub, right? And some scholars say that to have kibr over your religiosity is worse than having kibr over your dunya and your money and your wealth. Mutarrif ibn Abdullah wal-Tabi'i, he passed away in 95 after Hijri. He was one of the narrators of hadith. He says, وَلِأَنْ أَبِيتَ نَائِمًا وَأُصْبِحَ نَادِمًا أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ أَنْ أَبِيتَ قَائِمًا وَأُقِيمَ مُعْجِبًا. He says that I would rather prefer that I sleep at night, not worshiping Allah, and maybe forgetfully forget to worship Allah by mistake, and wake up in the morning with regret, with remorse, with sadness in my heart. I prefer that over me praying all night and waking up in the morning mu'jiba, while having ujub, takabbur, and pride in my heart, thinking that I'm better than someone else because I prayed all night. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من الكبر. You have one iota amount of kibr in your heart, Jannah is not written for you. You're not eligible for Jannah if you have an iota amount of kibr in your heart. The Sahaba asked, Ya Rasulullah, we all like to dress nice, we all like to wear good clothes, put perfume on. The Prophet ﷺ said, that is not kibr. Don't worry about that, that's not kibr. Kibr is, he said, Inna Allah jameel yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful, He likes when you are beautiful as well. That is not kibr. Big kibr is batarul haqqi wa ghamtun nas. Is when you look down at people, when you degrade people, that is batarul haqq, to deny the truth. When someone tells you, brother, you're doing this wrong, you say, no, I have a solution. That's not the case. You openly, directly reject the truth. You say, brother, you have problems in your family, you're forcing a relationship, you're forcing a marriage for your own benefit. That is rejecting the truth on its face, batarul haqq. And the second thing is, wa ghamtun nas, is looking down at people, thinking that you are better than people. That is the second attribute of people who have kibr in their hearts. And you can always find an excuse to think that someone is better than you. No matter what category they come from, no matter what age they come from, no matter what piety they have, you can always think that you are worse than other people. Imam al-Ghazali, rahmatullah alayhi, he says that if you ever see a younger person, a small child, don't think that you're better than that child. Say in your heart that هَذَا لَمْ يَعْصِ اللَّهِ. This little kid, this ma'soom child, he never sinned against Allah. وَأَنَا عَصَيْتُ اللَّهِ. But I sinned against Allah. So he is better than me, even though he's younger than me. And then if you see someone that's older than you, that's more in age than you, then say, هَذَا عَبَدَ اللَّهَ قَبْلِي. He worshipped Allah before me. He's been worshipping Allah more than me his whole life. So he is better than me. And if you see someone who is jahil, who doesn't have knowledge, who doesn't know halal and haram, then say that even he is better than me. Why? Because هَذَا عَصَى اللَّهَ بِجَهْلٍ. He sinned against Allah without knowing. وَأَنَا عَصَيْتُ اللَّهَ بِعِلْمٍ. But I sinned against Allah while having knowledge. فَحُجَّةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيَّ أَكْبَرُ. Then the evidence and the hujjah of Allah against me is even more. So he is better than me. And then Imam al-Ghazali says, even if you see a kafir, even if you see a non-believer, then think that he is better than you. Why? Because لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ أَن يَهْدِيَهُ. Perhaps Allah will give him hidayah before he passes away. Allah says in the Quran, if you ever see a kafir, فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ. The la'na of Allah will be upon the kuffar once they die while they are kuffar. As long as they are living, Allah can guide them, and they might be better than you. And as long as you are living, you cannot guarantee your khatimah, how your life will end. That is why we constantly make dua to Allah and say, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا. Ya Allah, do not deviate our hearts after you have given us guidance. Because we can be close to death, a minute away from a death, and qadr can take us over and iman can be lost. The same way for the other way around. Last moment in your life, you can be a disobedient person, but that last moment, qadr can take over and you can be from the people of Jannah. So no matter what kind of person you look at, older, younger, pious, not pious, alim, not alim, always think that they are better than you, that they are better than you. So these are one of the diseases of the heart, is to have pride, is to think that you're better than people, right? So what about the solutions? What about the prescriptions? How do we get pride out of our hearts? What can we do to maximize taking pride out of our hearts? One of the things we can do is try to mingle with people. Try to dress like how the people dress. Eat with people. Break bread with people. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. One time he was eating with his sahabi, and a morsel of the food dropped and fell. This person said, Ya Rasulullah, ghafarallahu laka ya Rasulullah. May Allah forgive you, Ya Rasulullah. He used to eat with them. He used to sit and talk with them. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَغَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ أَيْضًا. And may Allah forgive you as well. He did not have kibr and takabbur and ujub. Try to mix with people. The Quraysh, when people would come for Hajj, before Islam, when people would come for Hajj, Hajj has been there since Ibrahim alayhi salam. When people would come for Hajj, they wouldn't mingle with them after Arafah. فَإِذَا عَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. Allah tells them, go and be with the people wherever they go. They say, no, we are better than them. We are the host of the house of Allah. We will take care of them. They're full of disease, they're full of that. They should not mingle. So another thing we can do is mingle with people. Listen to people attentively. Show them genuine care and affection. Show them genuine, when people are talking to you, don't let your mind drift away to something else. That shows that you don't care about his feelings or what he's saying. Give for your full attention to that person that is talking to you. So these are some of the ways we can try our best to remove one of the diseases, one of the cancers of the heart. Because if we have that, we won't be able to enter Jannah. Allah Azza wa Jalla give us all the tawfiq. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة. من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد ضل وغوى. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Your respected elders and brothers, mothers and sisters, we were talking about the diseases of the heart. And the first disease Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in the Quran is kibr, mustakbirina bihi. And the second thing Allah Azza wa Jal mentions is samiran tahjurun, is the third one. Samiran. Samir in the Arabic language means a full moon, a fully lit moon, a full moon. And the people who used to spend their night talking away, chattering away, and just without having any consciousness of time, just being negligent, that is one of the diseases of the heart. Wasting your time away, wasting your life away. Allah Azza wa Jal, on the Day of Judgment, the Prophet ﷺ says, لا تزول قدم عبد. The feet of a person will not move from his spot on the Day of Judgment until he answers some of the critical questions of Akhirah. And one of those things, عن عمره فيما أفناه. His life, how he spent it. His time, how he spent it. How he spent his nights, how he spent his weekends, how he spent his days, his time off. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا سمرة بعد العشاء. After Isha, there is no chit-chatting, there is no talking, there is no idling and loitering around and wasting your time away. Because we as Muslims need to wake up early in the morning. One time I was passing by this writing in an airport. It said that every morning a deer, a gazelle, gets up. And that deer and that gazelle has to outrun the fastest lion in order to survive. Otherwise, one will come and catch him. The same way, every morning, a lion, when it gets up, it has to outrun the slowest deer and gazelle in order to live. Otherwise, you won't have food for him and his family for that day. And then the last part said, whether you're a lion or a gazelle, when the sun gets up, you must get running. You must start using your time. You must not waste your time. Wake up early in the morning. If you look at the successful people of this world, worldly wise, they're successful. You will see that their life is very disciplined. They wake up at a certain specific time every single morning because they don't want to waste time. They value their time, right? If you look at their closet, they have same type of clothing because they don't want to waste their time picking what clothes am I going to wear today. It's the same thing every single day. You just pick one out and put that one back on because they have value for time. Ibn Aqil al-Hanbali, one of the tabi'i, he says that I value my time so much that I don't even eat bread. You know, bread, you have to cut it, you have to put it back together, and then you have to dip it in the curry, and then you eat it. He said, I prefer food that's already made, that comes in lump, mixed together. And that way, I don't have to waste my time breaking bread and putting it in my mouth. That's how much they value their time. The elderly scholars, we've heard about them, that even in their bathroom, when they're using their qadai haja, they wouldn't waste their time. They used to wash the bathroom. They used to wash the thing, the material, the instrument they use for washing. Even that time they are using. Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahmatullah alayhi, he's also another tabi'i. He says that أدركت أقواما, I met some people, and he's talking about the Sahaba. كان أحدهم أشد حرصا على وقتهم. They were more hirs, they had more love and more desire and eager to save their time more than you have, more eager than to save your money and your dirham and your dinar. They had more value over their time than you have value over your money. Money wasn't an issue for them. Right? Sahaba, they used to give money. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, so many instances and episodes in his life, we can see he was a rich person, he was a businessman, he inherited a lot of money from his father as well. In the Battle of Tabuk, the Prophet ﷺ said, who will, man jahaza jaysh al-usra, who will assist us in the Tabuk, falahu al-jannah, for him will be Jannah. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala, he came with 940 camels. Today, one camel costs thousands of dollars. He came with 940 camels. And then after that, he came with 60 more camels, 60 more horses, and he made 1,000 in the path of Allah. Right? Money and dirham and dinar, it wasn't an issue. Another time, when the Sahaba, they migrated to Medina, there was a well there that belonged to a non-Muslim, right? And the Muslimun, they did not have a well to take their water from. So the Prophet ﷺ said, who can buy this well and for him will be Jannah? Uthman again came, Ya Rasulullah, I will buy it. So when it came to money, they didn't care much. But when it came to time, they were very, very frugal, very stingy, you can say. You can't afford their time. So that is the second thing, my brothers. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Quran the second disease of the heart. The first one was mustakbirin, to have kibr in the heart. The second is samiran, wasting your life away, wasting your time away. And the last one is tahjurun, is when you speak foul languages, when you talk evil, when you talk things that do not make sense or that are immoral, fahish. The Prophet ﷺ, مَا كَانَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فَاحِشًا وَلَا فَحَّاشًا. The Prophet never ever spoke ill. Anas radiallahu anhu stayed with him for 10 years. He said he never ever said, why did you do this, why did you do that? So these are the three basic and fundamental diseases of the heart. Inshallah, in the future, we can go over more of the diseases of the heart and the remedies of those things. Right? And we spoke about some of the remedies and treatments. And one of the things that is not so direct, one of the solutions that's not so direct, it's far-sighted. If you look at it from a bigger angle, that is a remedy. And what is that? That is building a family. Making sure that the mother in a family is righteous. Because that mother will be the first teacher in a person's life. That mother will teach that kid to not have kibr, to treat people nicely, to be humble. Right? And with that concern, right, they say that if you want to destroy a society, then destroy their families. Right? If we are able to create families and create pious, knowledgeable mothers, then we will be contributing to society. And for that reason, Jamaica Muslim Center, inshallah, soon will be starting a part-time pre-alima course. And the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's designed for our sisters who are going to secular studies and who don't have the time and who want to get into this. It is designed for them. So inshallah, you can spread the word, you can tell your families, anyone that's in your family, maybe they have graduated already, they can come and join this alima course, inshallah. So may Allah Azza wa Jal please give us all the tawfiq, inshallah. Allah Azza wa Jal forgive all of our sins. Allah Azza wa Jal cure us of all the physical diseases. Allah Azza wa Jal cure us of all the spiritual diseases. Allah Azza wa Jal forgive and accept and help the ummah around the world. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin.